Rents are dropping, grocery bills aren't breaking the bank, and, get this, some towns are actually paying people to move there. Sounds like a dream, right? Like you've just stumbled on a secret jackpot. But here's the twist: what if all that affordability is actually a big red flag? Picture this: towns slowly emptying out, tax money drying up, local services struggling to survive, and neighborhoods aging with no fresh energy coming in. Makes you think, doesn't it? Why can you score 2 houses here for the price of one somewhere else? In 2025, these 10 states might look like a financial fantasy, but the real cost? It could be hiding in plain sight. Number 10, New York. We all know the rent's outrageous, but in 2025? It's not just high, it's out of control. And here's what's even scarier: scammers are going after seniors like it's a full-blown operation, and hospitals, especially in upstate counties, are shutting their doors so fast it's triggered state-level investigations. Now, New York's never been cheap, but this year, it's earned a disturbing title: #1 in senior poverty for urban areas. Yep, right in NYC, nearly 1 in 5 retirees is living below the poverty line. Let's talk about why. Property taxes rising like crazy. Some homeowners in Long Island and Westchester were slammed with double-digit increases, just from revaluations. And that's not all. Utilities shot up 28% across the state, thanks to infrastructure projects that no one voted for, but everyone's stuck paying for. And then there's the scams. It's a digital jungle out there. In just the first half of 2025, seniors in New York lost over $203 million to fraud. Think AI-generated robocalls, fake IRS letters, even counterfeit pharmacies that look identical to legit ones. If you're not tech-savvy, you're a sitting duck. Worried about healthcare? You should be. More than 15 rural hospitals have either shut down completely or slashed services since late 2023. ERs? Gone. Dialysis? Cut. Long-term care? Vanished. So if a 72-year-old in the Catskills has a stroke, they're either being airlifted, or not treated at all. But here's the chilling part: how long before this isn't just a rural crisis? What happens when these issues, sky-high costs, no healthcare, and scam epidemics, start creeping into the suburbs? What do we do then, when access, affordability, and safety all collapse together? Number 9, Mississippi. Picture this: you've finally retired, moved to a peaceful little southern town, and then you find out, the ER is gone. Your neighborhood pharmacy just shut down. And every time it rains, the internet cuts out. Sounds like fiction, right? Unfortunately, this is retirement in Mississippi, 2025. Here's the raw truth: Mississippi now holds the highest senior poverty rate in the entire U.S. Nearly 1 in 4 seniors here is living below the poverty line. But it's not just about low income, it's about the painful decisions that come with it. We're talking seniors forced to choose between medication, rent, or a decent meal. In some counties, food insecurity among retirees is up 30% compared to just 2 years ago. And healthcare? It's slipping away, fast. Just this year alone, 5 rural clinics shut down. 2 regional hospitals cut their services in half. And to see a specialist? Get ready to wait over 120 days. Ask yourself, can a 70-year-old really afford to wait 4 months to see a heart doctor? Now, Mississippi might seem like a low-cost state, but that picture's getting blurry. In the Delta, utility bills are spiking, thanks to brutal heat and crumbling infrastructure. Jackson and nearby towns are seeing frequent water system failures, leaving some seniors without clean drinking water for days. Then come the out-of-pocket costs. Medications that aren't covered. Basic needs that chip away at every dollar. Even that affordable lifestyle starts to feel like a financial trap. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, scams are thriving. In 2025, elder fraud shot up 19% here. Losses? Over $62 million. And here's the thing, most of these victims weren't online. They were targeted the old-fashioned way, in person, over the phone, even through church groups. So the real question is it really retirement if you're constantly living on edge, physically, financially, and emotionally? And just a heads up, what's coming next might shock you even more. If you've made it this far, now's a perfect time to hit subscribe, because two of the most unexpected states are still ahead, and they might not be as safe as people think. Stay with us, number 8 is up next, and it might just flip your assumptions. Number 8, New Mexico. Hospitals shutting down. Violent crime on the rise. Entire counties without a single doctor who specializes in senior care. This isn't a dystopian warning, it's New Mexico in 2025. So how is this still considered a retirement haven? Let's start with the numbers. New Mexico now ranks among the highest violent crime rates in the country, 778 incidents per 100,000 people. That's nearly twice the national average. Retirees in places like Albuquerque and Roswell aren't just tightening their budgets, they're literally locking their doors in broad daylight. And healthcare? It's hanging by a thread. This year alone, 32% of rural hospitals in New Mexico are either severely underfunded or losing money fast. In some towns, there's no emergency care at all, not for 40 miles in any direction. So when a senior needs urgent help, where do they go? What do they do? But the crisis doesn't stop there. Financial scams are exploding. In just the past year, elder fraud losses in New Mexico topped $92 million. Think about that, nearly $100 million gone, targeting some of the most vulnerable people in the state. So here's the real question. Is New Mexico still a peaceful place to retire? Or has it quietly turned into a silent trap, one where safety, care, and stability are slipping right through the cracks? Number 7. California. Insurance companies are bailing. Fraud is exploding. And wildfires? They're not just seasonal anymore, they're constant. In 2025, California isn't the golden retirement dream, it's a high-risk gamble wrapped in sunshine. Let's break down how it's all falling apart. More than 1.5 million homeowners lost access to affordable insurance this year as major providers pulled out of the state. That's left retirees on fixed incomes either paying triple their old premiums, or getting denied coverage entirely. In wildfire-prone areas like Sonoma or Paradise, one tiny spark could mean losing everything: your home, your security, your future, with zero protection. And the financial threat doesn't stop there. Elder scams are spiraling out of control. In just the first half of 2025, California's seniors lost a jaw-dropping $1.4 billion to fraud. That's not just money, it's entire life savings being wiped out, often with no chance of getting it back. But here's the real twist. In some counties, it's not just about being unaffordable, it's becoming unlivable. Before we move on, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss these real-time updates most people aren't talking about. Because the next state on this list might surprise you even more. Number 6, Florida. Your home insurance just got canceled, again. Your HOA fees jumped 30% overnight. And one random morning in January, you're told to evacuate your neighborhood. This isn't the start of a thriller movie. It's retirement in Florida, 2025. Let's tackle the big one first, the insurance crisis. By mid-2025, over 600,000 Floridians have been dropped by their insurers. Why? Because climate risk isn't a maybe anymore, it's a guaranteed payout. Hurricanes, sinkholes, inland floods, and now even wildfires are battering the state harder than ever. Major insurers like Farmers and Bankers have pulled out, and the retirees left behind? They're stuck paying 3 times the old premiums, or going without coverage altogether. But weather isn't the only storm hitting Florida. The state is now ranked number 1 in the nation for elder fraud. In just the first 5 months of 2025, scammers swindled $2.3 billion from Florida seniors. And we're not talking sketchy emails anymore. These criminals are using AI face-swapped video calls, posing as distressed grandkids, and even setting up fake real estate agencies to lure in retirees trying to downsize. In a state where nearly 1 in 5 residents is over 65, these predators are thriving, and regulation just can't keep up. Now add in Florida's affordability crisis. Housing prices have stayed high, but taxes and hidden fees are sneaking up behind the scenes. In counties like Sarasota and Broward, seniors have been hit with property tax hikes between 9 to 14% in 2025 alone, mostly blamed on storm preparedness levies. That dream of low-tax living? It's being quietly eaten away by local mandates and surprise service fees that no one ever voted on. So let's get real. What happens when your fixed income can't keep up? Not with extras. Just with staying insured, secure, and scam-free? Florida still sells the image of paradise for retirees. But in 2025, it's starting to look more like a paradise full of hidden costs, constant threats, and zero guarantees. Before we jump to the next state, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the truth, the stuff most outlets won't touch. And trust me, what's coming up next might just change your entire view of where to retire. Number 5, Louisiana. It's not just hot anymore, it's lethal. Flood zones are expanding faster than FEMA can redraw the maps, and entire parishes are losing medical access. In fact, ER closures have tripled in the last 2 years. This isn't a future threat, this is Louisiana in 2025, and the data? It's downright terrifying. Let's start with the heat. This summer, Louisiana endured 17 straight days above 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Not just a record, it's a death trap for older adults. In 2025 alone, heat-related hospitalizations among seniors shot up 22% statewide. And in rural parishes, emergency response times? They've exceeded 45 minutes during peak crises. So here's the nightmare scenario: you collapse from heatstroke, and the ambulance is still half an hour away. But heat isn't the only threat. Flood risks are skyrocketing. According to FEMA's latest 2025 projections, over 53% of homes in Louisiana now fall within potential disaster zones, up from just 38% 5 years ago. And because so many insurance providers pulled out after repeated hurricanes, 1 in 5 homeowners now has no coverage at all. So imagine standing on your porch on the Gulf Coast, watching storm clouds roll in, knowing you're not protected. And it's not just the weather forcing people to rethink retirement here. Louisiana ranks in the bottom 5 states for healthcare access. There's a dangerous shortage of doctors, hospital funding is drying up, and the state holds the second highest senior poverty rate in the country. In places like Monroe and Alexandria, seniors aren't skipping care by choice, they're skipping it because entire specialties no longer exist at local clinics. Chronic illness? Diabetes? Mobility issues? How do you manage any of that without consistent medical support? And still, retirees are coming, lured in by low housing prices. But here's the hard truth. What good is a cheap home if it floods, overheats, or has no hospital within 50 miles? Make sure you subscribe now, because we're pulling back the curtain on the most dangerous retirement trends out there, the ones no one else wants to talk about. And trust me, the next states on this list, they'll surprise you even more. Number 4, Texas. Sweltering blackouts. Soaring property taxes. A healthcare system stretched to the edge. This is the hidden reality creeping up on retirees in Texas right now. Sure, people still move here chasing that no income tax promise, but in 2025, many are walking straight into a retirement trap. Let's start with the money. Texas is no longer the low-cost haven it once claimed to be. Property taxes? Through the roof. Unlike other states that offer seniors homestead exemptions or freeze tax rates, Texas ties property taxes to soaring home appraisals, especially in booming metros like Dallas, Houston, and Austin. The average tax rate now? 1.6%, one of the highest in the U.S. And in the hot zones? Retirees have seen their annual tax bills jump over $1,200, just in the last 18 months. For someone on a fixed income, that's not just tough, it's unmanageable. Now let's talk power. After several winters of blackouts and summers filled with grid warnings, ERCOT, Texas's independent power grid is back under strain in 2025. With heat waves getting worse and more people moving in, the system is barely holding together. And for seniors with health issues? Losing air conditioning in the middle of a 110-degree heat wave isn't just uncomfortable, it's deadly. Already this year, Texas has reported over 400 heat-related deaths, many of them older adults stuck in homes without power. And then comes the sleeper issue, the one not enough people are talking about, healthcare access. You'd think in a state this massive, care would be easy to find, but data says otherwise. Texas now holds the title for highest uninsured adult rate in the country. And in 2025, rural hospital closures are accelerating. According to a recent state audit, 17 rural counties now have zero hospital or ER coverage. That's right, none. And guess who suffers most? Seniors who can't just drive 2 hours for a checkup, a prescription refill, or urgent care. So here's the big question. Is Texas quietly becoming hostile to retirees? Because when the cost of staying climbs and life-saving services break down, the dream of a tax-friendly retirement starts to look a lot more like a high-risk gamble. And if things fall apart again, when the grid goes down or the ambulance doesn't come, who's left holding the bill? Not the developers. Not the state. Probably just grandma and grandpa. Number 3, Alabama. Imagine this, you wake up and the hospital down the street? Gone. Your power bill? Just spiked by 40%. And now the only grocery store in town is closing its doors. This isn't a scene from a dystopian movie, it's Alabama in 2025. A state that once promised peaceful, affordable retirement is now teetering on the edge of being completely unlivable for folks on a fixed income. Let's start with the biggest alarm bell, healthcare. It's collapsing. Alabama leads the nation in rural hospital shutdowns, 12 hospitals gone in just the last 4 years. And guess what? In 2025 alone, 3 more are barely hanging on, operating at emergency loss levels. In some parts of the state, seniors have to travel over an hour just to reach an ER. That's not a minor inconvenience, it's a dangerous gamble, especially for those with chronic illnesses or limited mobility. Now add power troubles to the mix. Alabama's infrastructure is seriously failing. In fact, the state ranks near the bottom nationwide for public utility reliability. In 2025, scorching summer heat waves triggered rolling blackouts across 22 counties, with temps soaring past 110 degrees Fahrenheit for days. Seniors relying on oxygen machines, refrigerated meds, or electric lifts. Many were left in life-threatening situations. And it gets worse, costs are rising fast. Even though Alabama still has low home prices on paper, the real cost of living has surged nearly 18% in just 1 year. That jump is coming from rising property taxes, surging utility bills, and crushing out-of-pocket medical expenses. Retirees who thought they were moving here for financial peace are now watching their savings vanish far quicker than expected. But here's the part that should really make you pause. According to the 2025 National Aging Index, Alabama ranks dead last in senior healthcare access. Fewer doctors, fewer nurses, fewer resources, and no solid plan to turn things around. So here's the tough question: is saving a few bucks on rent worth it, if you can't even find a doctor when you need one? Number 2, Alaska, the retirement dream that's sinking, literally. In 2025, Alaska looks like a peaceful off-grid haven, but for seniors, it's turning into a survival challenge. Heating bills in rural areas? Over $900 per month, even with subsidies. Groceries? 2.5x the national average. And the closest emergency room? Often a 2-hour flight, if weather allows. But here's the real shocker: entire villages are being abandoned. Thawing permafrost is wrecking roads, homes, and plumbing, forcing people out. Medevac flights are grounded almost half the time due to climate delays. Alaska may promise peace and wilderness, but in 2025, for retirees, it's become one of the most expensive and dangerously isolated places to live. Number 1, North Carolina. North Carolina used to be a retiree's dream: mild winters, coastal charm, and affordable living. But in 2025, the picture has changed drastically. Behind the scenic beaches and golf course brochures, there's a growing crisis no one's talking about loud enough. Let's start with this: home insurance premiums have exploded, up 42% in just 1 year. And it's not just coastal homes anymore. Even inland counties like Johnston and Nash are getting slapped with massive rate hikes, thanks to FEMA redrawing flood maps. For seniors on fixed incomes, that's not just an inconvenience, it's a financial crisis. And then there's healthcare, or the lack of it. In just 18 months, 6 rural hospitals have shut down. Entire towns are now more than an hour away from the nearest ER. Imagine having a stroke and being told the ambulance is 70 minutes out. That's not just terrifying, it's life-threatening. Now, layer in climate. Hurricanes are stronger, longer, and more destructive. The 2024 season alone caused over $2.1 billion in damage, and 2025 is already looking worse. Flood zones now stretch into previously safe suburbs, forcing retirees to relocate, driving up rents, and draining savings. The real kicker? There's no solid state plan to fix any of it. No major push for climate resilience. No meaningful support for rural healthcare. No relief from skyrocketing insurance. Just slow, scattered responses while the problems pile up. So ask yourself, is retiring in North Carolina still worth it? Or is it a high-risk gamble in disguise? Because at this point, it's not just about hurricanes or hospital access, it's about whether the state can protect its aging residents at all. If this surprised you, imagine what else is flying under the radar. Hit like, share this with someone thinking of retiring here, and subscribe, so you never miss the stories the mainstream skips.